This is make or break for Trevor Lawrence. It has to be. When do you pull the plug on him? I know you signed him to that massive deal, but if he has a underwhelming season, if he does not play like a top 10 quarterback this season, he's done. There are no more excuses, and you start to fear, at least I do, will he be a Matthew Stafford or a quarterback that doesn't really figure it out until the back end of his career? That's not a bad thing, but there's a lot to like from Trevor Lawrence. There's just not enough consistency of what he does good. And that's the thing. If he is a player that is going to use his smarts to his ability, it might have to be outside of Jacksonville. And I don't know if they've given him a fair shot of just playing with that team, because if you look at who he's thrown the ball to, let's just go off the list. Marvin Jones, Laquan Treadwell, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, Philip Dorsett. I know there's some no names on here, but Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Gabe Davis. Are any of those guys number one wide receiver? Let's be honest. Are any of those guys going to give you the best chance to succeed? Maybe Calvin Ridley can put up an argument, but when he was on Jacksonville, he was the first time he was back on a football field for the first time in a couple years after that suspension for gambling. So I don't think Trevor Lawrence has had a fair share of love. And I think a lot of people just hate on him because he hasn't gotten his feet off the ground yet in terms of his NFL career. He hasn't done anything special. It was almost like somebody said to me, ever since the Jaguars came back and beat the Chargers, they haven't been relevant in that big playoff game. And I would hate to say it, but I think they're right. And this is it. Trevor Lawrence, can he prove that he's a top quarterback in this league? He got hurt last season. I wouldn't say this is a contract year, but this is a prove it year for sure, because you jeopardize your future with this team, and I don't think you want to do that. Let's look at Drew Brees on the Chargers, right? He was having a good career until he had that shoulder injury. Chargers gave up on him. He went to New Orleans, balled out, won a Super Bowl. Can we see that with Trevor Lawrence? Not saying he's going to win a Super Bowl, but a similar thing to where a team gives up on you, not necessarily because of injury, but let's just say it was a bad season. This is a bad year. Things happen, and then he goes to another team and succeeds. That's what I think could happen with Trevor Lawrence, but I do believe in him as a player. This is a guy who we can understand is an actual good football player. It's just, I don't think he's had his fair share, again, with the wide receivers that he's been given. You now have a true number one guy in Brian Thomas Jr. You do. The run game has never been great for Jacksonville, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, but transition for Lawrence, it has to be now. It's now or never. It's make or break. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, but I know I'm probably the one person that actually believes in Trevor Lawrence, because everyone's probably looking at me like with 18 eyeballs saying, what are you, crazy? Trevor Lawrence isn't a good quarterback. You may be correct, but I really do believe in the offseason preparing and the fact that he could take a step forward this season with a decent wide receiving room. That's the thing. When you look at Jacksonville, they have some pretty good receivers. Brian Thomas Jr. had an awesome season last year. He now moves up to the number one guy. You go out and draft Travis Hunter, a guy who can play both ways. You even picked up Diami Brown from the Commanders, who was a pretty good attribute with Jaden Daniels in that crew. Parker Washington has done his time. I mean, there's really, the only weak spot for the Jags is probably the O-line, but even then, it's not that bad. So again, you be the judge on Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He has not had a great situation, but he does need to play better. I've seen him play awesome, but I've also seen him play terrible. I mean, as a Texans fan, I've seen him twice a year, and I've seen his first game as a Jaguar, and he threw 4 interceptions the first game. That can't happen. But again, you're a rookie. You're developing your talent. I mean, the thing is with Trevor Lawrence, this is now his 5th year in the league. So when is it time to kind of take that transition to the next level? He's kind of just been the same player. I'm waiting for the Trevor Lawrence to just go boom, because that's how it goes in the NFL. You either have a subpar season or you have an amazing season, because it's, injuries, something always happens. And whether it's your offensive coordinator, whether it's your offensive line, whether it's just you not being able to pick up the game until you're ready to play in this league, because it is a hard league to play in, there's a lot of question marks as to what can you do and what is the situation around you to why you can't do the thing. And I think a lot of the problem is you put a lot of blame on the quarterback and not necessarily on the rest of the team, the coaching. That's the biggest thing for Jacksonville right now. The fact that they hired a new coach that I think Liam Cohen is going to do an amazing job and just turn around this franchise, because Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback and Cohen is going to hold him to a high standard. I think Cohen with Baker, he could do the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. So that's what we're looking at this season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but realistically, Trevor Lawrence can succeed in this offense with Liam Cohen, and I believe it. The Jaguars traded up for Travis Hunter. Let's go make it happen. I mean, realistically, Trevor Lawrence is going to take the Jaguars to a 9-10 win season, and everyone's going to be like, how the heck did the Jaguars pull that off? It's because Trevor Lawrence figured out how to play in the NFL. Now, I could say this and sound like a complete muppet, but come back to this video and we'll see what Trevor Lawrence does this season. I'm expecting a 4,000-yard season at least with, well, let's look at his healthy season. When he was healthy in 2023, 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I'm expecting 4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Call me crazy. I believe in Trevor Lawrence. Off an injury, he's going to play well.